Do some more SAT prep. Now we're doing 2.3.17, which is practice test 2, section 3, number 17, on page 463 in the SAT book. So this is one of the define a function kind of problems. So this is a very common SAT problem where they define a fake function. In this case, the function is an arrow function. So it's just like when you were a kid and you learned what a plus sign meant, you learned that meant add, and you learned that a minus sign meant subtract, or you learned that a division symbol meant to divide one thing into another, or eventually you learned that an exclamation point is a factorial. Uh, Defining math symbols is a pretty common thing that we all go through in our math education. What the SAT likes to do is they like to define a fake math symbol that doesn't mean a certain thing, and they give it a definition for one or two problems only. So in this problem, the action that they gave us is arrow. So A arrow B is defined as A plus B divided by A minus B, with the caveat that this does not work for A equals to B because we are not allowed to divide by 0. So whenever you see a little restriction or caveat like that, you should always ask yourself why, just because it's good for you to know why. And in this case, the answer is that if A and B were the same number, your denominator would be 0. So then they give us that 1 arrow 2 is the same as 2 arrow x, and they want you to solve for x. So I'm going to go ahead and set up what 1 arrow 2 means, right? That means 1 plus 2, right? Because A arrow B means you add the two numbers on the top, and then 1 minus 2 on the bottom, right? So that's what 1 arrow 2 means. On the other side, equal to that is 2 arrow x, and 2 arrow x by definition should be 2 plus x on top and 2 minus x on the bottom. So I'm going to get an equation that I'm able to solve. So over here, I'm going to get a 3 on top of a negative 1. And on this side, I'm still going to have a 2 plus x over a 2 minus x. We'll deal with that in a sec. So I get negative 3 equals 2 plus x on top of the quantity 2 minus x. In order to solve this, I need to multiply that entire quantity 2 minus x, so this whole quantity over here by the negative 3. So when I do that, it's a negative 3 times the quantity 2 minus x, and that's going to equal 2 plus x, right? When I distribute the negative 3, which I'm going to do up here for a little bit more room, I'm going to get a negative 6 plus 3x equals a 2 plus x. I'm going to move all my x's to one side. I tend to like to keep my x's positive, so I'm going to start by moving the x over to here, right? And I'm going to move all my non-x's to the other side, so I'll add the 6 to get rid of it, and I should get that 2x equals 8, which means x equals 4. And you can check that by verifying if it works. Certainly you can plug in numbers to see if that's the answer you get. If you didn't know how to do this, the other option is to just use this thing 5 separate times to try each one of the answers, which is absolutely fine. You could have ruled out answer C from the beginning, because in answer C, it would have been 2 arrow 2, and we saw that the rule is you're not allowed to arrow the same two numbers, right? A and B can't be the same. So anyway, so x equals 4, and that is answer A.